If you're pregnant and you've ever thought, emergency C-section, this video is for you. What actually happens if I end up needing one? Because most moms imagine chaos, like people running, shouting, everything out of control. But here's what I want you to know upfront. It's usually not chaos. It's controlled. It's fast, but it's organized. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through what typically happens in the first 10 minutes after your team decides we need to move. Not to scare you, to take the mystery out of it. So if your birth needs to pivot, it doesn't feel like it's happening to you. And stay with me, because the biggest reason this moment feels so traumatic for moms is not the surgery itself. It's what they don't get time to process. I'm Cherry, a maternal and newborn nurse, and I'm here to help you feel informed, steady, and prepared, especially when birth doesn't follow the plan. Here's what the first 10 minutes usually looks like. First, what triggers the shift? Most emergency C-sections don't happen out of nowhere. Something changes that tells the team the baby or mom may not be tolerating labor well, and waiting could increase risk. Common triggers include things like the baby's heart rate pattern becomes concerning, heavy bleeding, signs of placental problems, cord concerns, or labor stalling in a way that becomes unsafe. And I'm keeping this plain on purpose, because the key point, the team isn't deciding this because someone is impatient. They're designing this because the situation is changing faster than labor is progressing. Now, here's what happens immediately after that decision. You'll usually notice more people come into the room. That alone can make your nervous system go, what is happening? But this is what's actually happening. Roles are activating. Someone is calling the operating room. Someone is notifying anesthesia. Someone is preparing baby team support if needed. Someone is staying with you to explain, monitor, and keep you safe. This is a part most moms don't see ahead of time. It feels sudden because the room changes quickly, but it is not random. It is a safety drill your team has practiced 100 times. Now, within those first minutes, your nurse and provider are also doing something important. They're assessing how urgent this is, because not every urgent C-section is the same type of urgency. Sometimes it's, we need to move now. Sometimes it's, we need to move quickly, but we have a few minutes to stabilize. And that difference changes how the moment feels. But either way, the goal is the same. Safe delivery, safe mom, safe baby. Next, what happens with you in that moment? This is where moms often feel overwhelmed because you're being asked questions while your brain is already spinning. You may hear things like confirming your name and date of birth, confirming allergies, confirming when you last ate, confirming consent, and confirming what anesthesia's plan is the safest. And if you're thinking, why are they asking all this right now? It's because safety checks don't disappear just because things are urgent. They get tighter. Now, let's talk about the move. When you're ready to go to the operating room, you will usually be transferred quickly, often on your bed. Your support person may be told where to go and what to do. And this part can be emotional because sometimes partners feel helpless and sometimes moms feel separated. So I want to say this clearly. If your partner isn't next to you for a moment, it doesn't mean you're alone. It means your team is moving you safely through a process that has steps. Now, what happens when you arrive in the operating room? This is where the speed really shows up. You'll see bright lights. You'll notice the room is cooler. You may hear more voices. And again, this can feel intense, but it helps to remember. Everyone in that room has a job, and their job is you and your baby. Now, anesthesia takes the lead. They focus on keeping you safe, comfortable, and stable. Depending on your situation, you may receive a spinal, an epidural dose, or in more urgent cases, general anesthesia. And I'm saying may because every case is different. But what's consistent is this. The team is communicating constantly. You just don't always get to hear the calm version in the moment because adrenaline is loud. Now, here's the part that surprises moms the most. Once the surgery actually begins, meaning once the incision starts, baby can be delivered within minutes. That's why the setup feels like the longest part. Because a lot of the first 10 minutes is preparation, positioning, cleaning the belly, sterile draping, and final safety checks. What's called a timeout. A timeout is a final pause where the team confirms the patient, the procedure, and the plan one more time. Even in urgency, they do it because safe doesn't mean slow. Safe means structured. Now, let me name the emotional truth. The reason emergency C-section feels so different isn't just the surgery. It's the speed of the pivot. 1 minute you think you're laboring, and the next minute your brain is trying to catch up to a completely different outcome. That mental whiplash is real. So, if this happens to you, I want you to remember this. A fast pivot is not a failure. It's a response to a changing situation. And the fact that your team moved quickly means they were protecting you and your baby. Now, if you're pregnant and a C-section is planned or even just possible, and you want recovery laid out step by step for those first days and weeks at home, my Strong Start C-section recovery kit is linked below, because the best time to plan for recovery is before you're exhausted, tender, and trying to figure it out in real time. Bottom line, the first 10 minutes of an emergency section usually looks fast, but structured. More people, more roles, more communication, and a focused goal. Safe mom and a safe baby. If this helped you feel more prepared, subscribe. I'm going to keep giving you clear, calm, real explanations so birth feels less like a mystery and more like something you can navigate. I'm Cherry, and I will see you in the next one.